Okay, now for some good voice leading, good part writing. We're going to be in the key of D this time. So I went ahead and wrote what we would use just kind of as a cheat sheet. You can feel free to do this whenever you analyze something. You can actually write out what the chord should be, maybe even the letter names, the pitches above it. It depends on how you work and how you function. Eventually you don't need to do this. You just analyze what key you're in and you figure it out on your own. But just use this for now, and we'll kind of look through the letter names. The one thing I did add is that oftentimes if you see a seventh chord, especially towards the beginning, we're keeping things simple. If you see a seventh chord, it's probably this one. 5-7 is super, super common. So I included the red 7 and what pitch that would be right up here. Okay, so here is a very familiar, if I were to play this for you, you'd know exactly what it is. A very familiar progression. So now your one chord is going to be built on the pitch D, D, F sharp, A. Okay, and everything in diatonic chords fits in the key signature. Notice there's no accidentals over here, and there's no accidentals here. Later we can do that, and we'll talk about non-chord tones, and we'll talk about, you know, secondary dominants and all sorts of fun chords that would use accidentals in here. But for now, we'll keep things simple. Okay, so first chord. First chord, we have D, A, D, F. Now technically, yes, this is an F sharp. Okay, and you can include that if that helps you. But for our purposes, since everything fits in the key signature, you can just use the letters on your cheat sheets. If you're looking at your cheat sheet, you know that this is D, F, A. That would be a one chord, not a bad place to start. Very standard for our purposes right now. So we start with a one chord. Next we have A, C, or C sharp, E. A, C, E. It's up here, A, C, E. There's no G, okay, so we know it's some kind of 5 chord. Okay, now right now we have the root in the bottom. Later, we'll actually have inversions. If anything besides the root is in the bass line, you'll have to include some of those 6/4 type symbols, or if it's a 7th chord, you have a 7 or a 6, or a 7 isn't in root position, but inverted 7th chords would have your 6/5 and your 4/3 and your 4/2. Those numbers we'll get into a little bit later today. Okay, now go ahead and copy this. I know it will take some time, but we don't have like musictheory.net sorts of exercises this week because we're into the realm of music theory where there could be more than one correct answer, and there's not really good flashcard style exercises online to do. This is really more high level analysis. So anyway, see if you can copy this down on your staff paper and figure out what Roman numeral should go underneath it. Go ahead and pause here. Okay, so let's check your work. We have, and I'm not going to write them all in like this every single time. Maybe you did, and you don't need to see me do it again. We have B, F sharp, B, D. That's a B minor chord. Look up here, and we have 6. Next one, we have F sharp, A, and C. That would be a 3 chord. We have G, D, G, B. That would be your 4 chord. D, D, F sharp, A, back to 1. G, D, G, B. It's going to be back to your 4 chord. A, E, or A, E, C sharp, G. Check it out. We actually have all 4 notes for a 5/7 chord. And then we get back to 1. This is in fact the chord analysis for every cellist's nightmare. This is Pachelbel's canon in D. Dum 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 dum. Just repeats those exact same 8 notes all over again for a trillion measures, and the violins get all the fun stuff. So go listen to it if you don't know it. I'm sure you do. So anyway, at the very end, we have what's called a cadence, and we're going to talk about that on the next page. A cadence is 2 chords, essentially, usually at the end of a phrase or the end of a piece. It sort of ends sections, basically. Okay, and one really common one is 5 or 5/7. to 1. And so we'll talk cadences on the next page.